Yeah, that guy gets lowered into the fire, and it's crazy. Om Nom Shivaya, Om Nom Shivaya, Om Nom Shivaya, Om Nom Shivaya. I can't get, like... There are so many moments from these movies just in my fucking
waiting
brain.
for you to...
You gotta give me a moment.
I remember, like, on the Oval doing the...
We discussed this and you said no.
And I was waiting for the other kid to do the Om Nom Shivaya, Om Nom Shivaya. Nobody knew what the fuck I was talking about.
I'm gonna be honest. If somebody came up to me and said, no, Kali Ma,
Get away from me,
I'd
sir.
be like, this.
Do not touch me. I personally was leaning to the Om Nom Shivaya. This is my moment. Been waiting 32 years for this.
Hey, where's Alex got? Oh, he got shipped off to a mental hospital. He started talking in tongues.
So, we open with the Paramount logo that fades into the gong sequence. This is kind of like the most James Bondy as the entire saga gets. Harrison Ford in his white tuxedo and that opening song. It's reminiscent of the Bond films.
I actually got more of a Humphrey Bogart feel of him.
Yeah, I think Spielberg references that in the special features maybe. But I haven't
Probably
seen
does,
where's
yeah.
Humphrey Bogart from?
Casablanca.
Casablanca.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Wrong.
Exactly. Go on,
Let's go on. That's my game.
What's the Casablanca quote?
Out of all the gin joints.
When all the she walks in the mine and he's looking at you, kid.
Yeah, true. My mum used to say that. Yeah, so we get this. It's kind of weird and like I don't know, unexpected. The whole anything goes.
The musical.
Yeah,
It goes on for a lot longer than I remember it going.
It's like a whole song, and like the
Yeah.
camera like fades into like some fantasy stage, and
So I'm pretty sure the story is that Spielberg's always wanted to make a musical, which now he has, obviously.
Yeah.
But he's always wanted to make one, and he was like, you know, I'm just gonna make this a musical opening.
So I thought, yeah, I won't make a movie. 4 minutes will be enough.
that'll do. I always, when I was a kid, when they have the shot of them all doing the splits, and they just play the shot in reverse again and they go up, that always like melted my brain. I'm like, you can't do that. That's not a thing that people can do. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, it's just they all go down and then they just like play the shot in reverse and they go back up again.
You didn't know the power of editing.
I did not. There's a scene in A New Hope too when the Sam person first wrecks Luke and he's like, If you watch that, he just does that and they just put it back and forward.
Is that true?
Yeah. Once you see it, you'll never unsee it.
You've ruined that for me
I'll
now.
cut it in. Yeah, it's like, and it's all like weird and jerky in reverse and normal.
I don't ever want to see that scene. I'll close my eyes until that scene's on so I don't have to experience
Let
it.
me ruin every movie for you, Jai. Let me just take the veneer off and see how it works.
Next you gotta be telling me they didn't actually go to space for Star Wars, so...
There was no John Williams score in space. It's silent.
In space, no one can hear John Williams.
Disappointing. And yeah, we get this great showdown. What's this spinny table thing called? Is that a Lazy Susan? Where they put all the things on it and spin it? Is that what a Lazy Susan is?
That is a Lazy Susan, but I don't know if that's... Is that a Lazy Susan? Like,
The spinny table.
it's Club Obi-Wan, they got plenty of Lazy Susans.
Yeah, I think it's called a Lazy Susan. It's a great visual gag, and Spielberg just holds on the shot, and they just like they put the diamonds on there and they spin it around. And there's this whole thing where
Get
they're just
Jahachi and
they're just
poison.
playing with
Poison
Lazy
cocktail.
Susan for like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Spielberg like just found it. He's like, this is
I
amazing.
just got one of these for my house, let's put it in school.
Product placement.
There's actually one thing about that whole open that really bugs me, is when the title comes on. It's behind Kate Capshaw, and you can't actually read the title properly.
Yeah, it's like a
I don't
comic
know, it's
book.
like nitpicking, but
the
it's
hero
always...
like cuts out the title.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
always really annoyed me.
That's fair. It looks a bit weird. I was always waiting, like, with the James Bond thing, like, for the title to come after the song, but then like the song ends and I realize that I've already seen the title. I'm like, oh, there's no title here. What is going on?
I don't think it is nitpicky because the Indiana Jones logo is like so iconic, and then I have it half covered up. You don't even see the word of it, just like Indy
It's like,
owns.
India owns Temp
Temp
Oom.
Did they do that in the first or
No.
the third one?
No, the first and
It
third.
says Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it's just like white kind
Yeah,
of
that's
not
it.
the iconic.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
the only
okay.
movie to actually have the actual Indiana Jones
And
font
it's all
in it.
fucked. The one time they did it. It was all fucked.
Oh yeah, well, Spielberg making poor decisions.
Terrible.
He kept his job.
He doesn't have it anymore, James Mangold has it. We will get there. Yeah, this conversation just heightens in tension. I love how Indy immediately takes Willie to like knife point. This is our hero. He's poisoned and all
And
the...
then not even a minute later he punches a woman in the face.
For no real reason. This is great, like, yeah, it's like a first person shot where somebody punches him and he just like walks back to the lady's cigarettes like...
I believe it's to show that he's feeling the effects of the poison. I mean, if you're not really sure of that, is he just doesn't like women?
He wasn't poisoned when he held the knife to Willie. It's not a knife, it's like a poker
It's
thing for
it's
me.
like a cheese fondue fork.
Yeah, but a big one. He's gonna, yeah.
Well, she does complain. She
there's two holes.
in your dress.
Yeah.
So
And then, yeah, the camera gets all askew and William's score gets all weird and ethereal and our hero just picks up like a flaming thing of meat and throws it into this, and the whole time is like shifts.
perfectly just like projectiles.
And people are screaming and rolling around. It just, I love, in the first movie, we talked endlessly about him with the like flying wing fight. He, like, in that one fight, the big guy, he kicks him in the nuts, he throws sand in his eyes, he bites him and he like tries to distract him.
Yeah.
I like how he's just not your like typical hero. He's like, he saves the kids at the end, but he's down, he's dirty, he's not afraid to stab a woman or punch a woman in the face or just throw like a spear into somebody.
do you reckon that will be happening in Dial of Destiny? Have to tone that down.
I hope the opening shot is him just hitting women.
just skewering people as he goes.
I mean, that's Indy. That's our Indy. Shenanigans ensue. The guy, who's the guy, Wuhan, who like dies in his arms. That was kind of a touching moment. We don't even even know this character.
No.
He's also the most useless side man ever. Like he comes in, he's like, oh yeah, they've got him now, and it instantly gets shot and dies. It does not help in any way. He's like, oh yeah, I've been shot. See you, Indy.
He mentions that there were adventures. He's like, we had adventures, Indy. We did not see them, but they existed.
I'm sure they'll
Goodbye.
exist maybe in some comic book form.
Never. They never did it. I like the gag with the diamond or the ice. It's all kind of really silly, and balloons come down, and all these people are here, and
Indy flies into the band, flips upside down.
They're just all running and jumping into each other with balloons and ice.
I actually really love how John Williams plays a bit of like an action version of Anything Goes during the whole thing.
The girls like come back out and chaos are like,
Do you reckon John Williams just asked Steven Spielberg, oh, how do you want the music for this? And he's like, anything goes. And he took it literally.
Done. They roll out the window. It's a great like little stunt. The stuntman and his wife did like all the stunts for these movies.
Did it? Is that true?
Yeah, I think the main guy, Vic Armstrong, was Harrison's double. I'm not sure if he's the main guy, but him and his wife did like all the 3 original movies. So she did like Marion and then Willie and then who's the third one? Elsa. Yeah, they go off all these shades and it's great. And we fall through the roof and the greatest sidekick of all time is here. Sure round. I fucking love him. He's so feisty, he's so quippy, he's so angry, and he just...
Holy smoke, crash landing!
You call him Dr. Jones, lady! That line will stay with me until I get dementia and forget everything. It's just...
Okie dokie, Dr. Jones, hold on to your potato!
What's this guy's name? I wrote it down.
Ki Hui Kwan.
Ki Hui Quinn. He was in the Goonies and then nothing for ages.
And then won Best Actor.
Yeah. Did you see Everything Everywhere All at Once?
I didn't like the movie, but I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, true. I fucking loved it. It could have had like 20 minutes cut out of it easily.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good.
I
didn't
enjoyed
love
it,
but I thought it was good.
But it went for like 2 hours and a half. I think it
Yeah,
could have been 2
something like
hours.
To preface my disdain, well, not disdain, just my it's fine. I had a migraine when I saw it, so
That does
I
make
feel
sense.
like that probably impacted it.
Mm.
So I'll give it a rewatch.
That's fair. There's some water here if you want it, man. I remember I seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and I was like breaking up with my band and I was like in a conversation with them like in the moment when we're going back and forth with all this fucking bullshit. Went and seen it and I'm like, this is like over emotional bullshit. They're pushing all the emotional beats and all this. I don't give a fuck. It sucks. And then I rewatched it like 6 months later. I'm like, oh, this is really good.
Volume 2
Well-
gets shit on a lot, but it's a great movie.
It's not as good as the first one, but it's a good movie. And yeah, just
I know Joel disagree with that.
2's my favourite. 2's out of the 3.
true.
But I mean, it's no Indiana Jones, is it?
No.
What is?
Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade.
Yeah, so I love Short Round. His feistiness and his aggravation, the little relationship they have, they like build it up so much and you're like so like invested in their relationship like immediately somehow. They just have charisma, the two of them.
And then after Temple of Doom, he's never seen again.
Yeah.
Seen again. Maybe a cameo in the Dial of Destiny.
Apparently not. So apparently he addressed that. And I was like, I would like to, but no.
Maybe he's lying. Or
You can tell
Spider-Man's
how excited he was at the Oscars that
Yeah.
he'd never seen Harrison since the 80s.
I haven't seen him in 40 years.
Harrison Ford's like, I don't know who you are.
We don't need a pointless Short Round fucking cameo. I don't want it. He's in Temple of Doom. He's amazing. I fucking love him.
Willie is my professional name. Indiana.
Hey, lady, you call him Dr. Jones.
My professional name.
What do we think about Willie and Kate Capshaw?
So, when I used to watch Temple of Doom as a kid, Willie annoyed the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I just didn't understand why she was so annoying. She's screaming all the time. She's high pitched. Now watch it again. It's like that's the whole point of Willie.
Yeah.
I've come around on her. I really have. She was her, and honestly, Short Round annoyed me as a kid. I don't know why. Yeah. They were the main reasons Temple of Doom was probably my least favorite of the first 3 when I was a kid. I mean, it's still my least favorite of the first. But yeah, I love.
It's my least favorite as well.
I love
But it's
them.
fucking amazing.
It is. It's great.
I love it.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun.
It really is. Yeah, it's so weird. Because Marion was like this like feminist archetype and she was like strong and powerful and like out drinking like brigads in the bar and punching people and fighting people, and then Willie is just like
Do a complete flip.
yeah, which is I don't know, it's kind of
I've never disliked Lily. I've always liked her. She's always made me laugh. Like the screaming and everything, and just the complete paranoia. Like when the plane's crashing and everything. Like
yeah.
she just makes me laugh.
She
Like,
irritates me, but I like her.
she's vain, superficial, but
She's
very
not-
very entertaining.
Yeah, she likes diamonds more than fucking people.
She likes her nails.
I like her. She's annoying. And she can't hold a candle to Marion, but
No.
But that's the point.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can't do Marion again. It's like the opposite. She's
Yeah.
blonde. She's screaming. She's not drinking.
Dr. Jones, you cheat. You pay money. You owe me 10 cents.
Look at this.
And yeah, Kate Capshaw married Spielberg.
Yeah.
I watched this. There's a documentary on HBO Max. I'm not sure if you've seen it. It's just like a Spielberg documentary.
Is it just called Spielberg?
The
Is it that
movie?
one?
It goes for like 2 hours.
Yeah, it might just be called Spielberg. And
Yeah.
it's talking about like Schindler's List and like being on the point of like breaking down
Yeah.
and not being able to shoot the scenes, and her being there and
Yeah.
like helping him through like this emotional turmoil and stuff.
Yeah,
So
it was her and Robin Williams that helped him through it. He'd call Robin Williams on the phone,
True.
and Robin Williams would just crack jokes, just
Yeah.
to cheer him up.
Robin Williams, I'm here at Auschwitz. You need to cheer me up. Do you imagine having that on tap? You got Robin Williams on your fucking phone.
Wasn't one time he was filming Jacob the Liar or something? So like, isn't it? He's on his own World War II.
Oh, they went through a dark World War II phase.
Robin, you want it on set? Hang on.
What do we think about this being a prequel? I never realized it a kid. What year is it set?
I never realized it was a prequel until
1935. So it's
Until-
1 year before Raiders, and then Crusaders 2 years after Raiders.
Even though I know it's a prequel, I don't see it as a prequel when
Yeah.
I watch it. It just I get that the reason they didn't set it after was because apparently George Lucas didn't want to make Nazis the villain again. That's the reason.
Yeah, I mean they're in India. Were the Nazis in India?
That's what I thought. But yeah, I don't know history well enough to know whether India was like involved in anything. But look, there's nothing explicitly in it, in my head at least,
No.
that can't make it come after me.
Yeah.
And they never reference it in Raiders at these events that that took place and you see them happening. Like there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Apart from we didn't see his mate with the gun.
Yeah.
Like he probably would have helped out in Raiders if he had been around.
Yeah. That's bad. I have to say, the wearing on the jacket is horribly inconsistent if this is a prequel to Raiders. Raiders, it has far less like worn spots, and then we cut to Raiders, it's nice again, and then fucking Last Crusade, it's all worn in again.
Wait, he's got 3 jackets.
Well, Robbie and I discussed this in fucking Raiders. He opens his closet and he doesn't have like a Homer Simpson like 5 jackets and 5 shirts and 5 pants.
Maybe after Raiders he was like, I need 5 shirts and 5 jackets.
Because it can't be the same hat in Dial of Destiny. It can't be the same
I mean, he was in Raiders. He's dragged behind the bed. He's on the ground.
Yeah.
So there'd be,
There's chunks out of it in Temple.
I just from working, I've ripped a hole in the crotch of these pants and buy new ones. That's just from walking behind a bar. So like, I can't imagine being dragged by a truck on the dirt.
And then he's dragged along by a tank in Last Crusade.
Yeah.
He's dragged along by everything.
Yeah, but I can't not look at that jacket, I just fucking love it. It's so fucking beautiful.
I feel like at the end of this, I'm going to come to hate. I won't be able to watch Indiana Jones without being like, oh, that's all I'm noticing now.
Welcome to my fucking world, man. When I started doing these reviews like 6 years ago, I've done like 400, and every movie people are like, yeah, it's good. I'm like, well, the cinematography in the third scene wasn't very bright, was it? It was inconsistent. And you just like, everything is like super hyper analytical, and you're breaking stuff down. And, like,
Maybe I shouldn't review movies that I really love. Maybe we should review. Let's review something we all hate. Has everyone seen Super Mario Brothers '93?
I mean, I don't think it's a negative that his jacket is. The wearing on his jacket is inconsistent with the timeline. It's not a negative. It's something that I can't not see.
Well, less inconsistent with the timeline. Harrison Ford literally says 1950s or something in the film.
Yeah.
At some point, they cleverly edit the other guy he's talking to over the top of him as he says it. But I think it's pretty clear. Like I heard it on the Blu-ray last night, and I was like, okay, that's.
I never noticed that.
I'll cut the scene in here if I can find it.
If I'm wrong,
just tell me what the scene is later on. I'll message you in like a couple of weeks, and I'll try to cut it, whatever you're talking about.
please cut it in. And then right now, if I'm right, everyone's like, wow, that's a big mistake. If I'm wrong, pretend I never said it.
Oh, then I'll cut this section out. I won't. I'll leave it in, and I'll zoom up on you, and I'll play the clip again and again.
I thought the palace had been deserted since.
Now there is new. Now there is new.
They get on the plane, they fly off.
Oh no, we forgot one very important bit.
What was that?
The Dan Aykroyd cameo.
Is there a Dan Aykroyd? I thought you were joking before.
No.
I was not joking.
Dan Aykroyd's in the film.
Dan Aykroyd's in this?
He literally, yeah.
He's the pilot.
He's the guy who like
He's-
he shakes his hand before they get on the plane.
Oh, really?
They never focus, like he never really gets a front-facing shot though. Like he's always kind of like from this angle. And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like, you know. And,
You can recognize that voice.
Yeah, I had no idea, right? I thought you were just like being silly.
no.
Dan Aykroyd's in this movie? What the fuck?
Ah, Dr. Jones. I'm Weber. I spoke with your assistant. We've managed to secure 3 seats.
No idea. There you go.
Line from Space Jam. Yeah, don't go into this picture. He is, yes, he is for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
They jump out of the plane, and the raft scene is fucking silly, but it's fine. It's kind of like, it's not like the refrigerator and the nuclear bomb level of silly, but I feel like it's setting the groundwork here. And like, if you go from this and watching them jump out of a plane on a raft and then slide down a hill and then go on like a rapid adventure, like,
And then fall off another cliff.
yeah, and then like the nuclear bomb in the fridge, like that's next level, sure, but the groundwork's set here. This wasn't a serious series, people.
We'll get to that obviously when we do that movie, but I have no problems with the nuke in the fridge. Like,
Yeah, we'll get there. I wouldn't say I have no problems.
I feel like realism left the franchise at the start of the first movie.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't have too much of an issue with the Duke and the Fridge. I mean, let's not pretend this film, this series, is the most grounded, realistic shit ever.
Like, if you don't like the
we got a
Fridge.
guy pulling his heart out, and the guy's alive. So.
That's brutal though. It's not bad if it's brutal. If it's silly, well, that doesn't make sense. But people's heads like melting and exploding. Oh, that's awesome. Like, what do you want?
I mean, we literally discussed in Raiders, how the hell does Harrison Ford get into the submarine?
Yeah.
He's on top, you see him salute, and then he pulls up with the Nazi plane and he gets out of the submarine. He's like, how did he get in? The sub was at sea, submerged.
It's a deleted scene with him just hanging on the periscope. But I don't know if that's canon because it's a deleted scene.
He just hanging on the periscope the entire time.
Shall we dive the sub? No, just leave the periscope up. Why?
I've never thought of that. That bit's ruined now.
I fucking love the like special effects when like the plane is like a little model and it flies into the mountain and the explosions are weird and fucked.
You can
and, like,
clearly see the layers of the screen, like the mountain is like clearly moving in the foreground, and the background just an explosion.
And like the plane, like the models all dodgy and stuff, and they go down the raft, and I don't even know if it's a blue screen or a green screen, but like it's been matted out. It might be like pre-blue screen, but just the bad special effects, they just like hit my nostalgia just right. There's so many like beautiful matte paintings as well, where like on the Blu-ray you can just tell it's a painting. And it's fucking awesome. I was telling Robbie the last scene in Raiders that warehouse, it's just a painting. Just look at it, and, like there's like brush strokes. I can see it's a painting. The village, it's a painting. There's a shot of the temple. They couldn't film in India because the Indian government was like blah 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 blah. So the shot of the temple, it's just a painting.
That's an actual transcript. Yeah, there's a scene in this one in Temple where he's standing on the like at night with short round and the shooting star goes past.
Yeah, that's all a painting.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. I don't know, just those corny special effects warm my heart. I see these big like Marvel cinematic things with all the CGI and I'm like, oh, gross. I just want that really bad hand-painted background, which is obvious.
But then if a movie in 2023 had that, you'd be the only one going, everyone's like, what the hell is this?
And you discussed before that if they make a movie of me, it will not make any money.
Why is the Hulk just a man painted green?
They come down to this Indian village here. This main Indian guy, when he's talking all the lines, he didn't speak English at all. And Spielberg just spoke each line to him and he just repeated it back.
That's the scene with the 1950s.
Oh, okay. What does he say?
I don't want to start in case I'm wrong.
You gotta commit now.
No, I'm not dwelling on this. Let's move on. We've already been there. We've done it. You've shown the clip if it happened. If it happened, great. If it didn't.
There's a scene where they all come into the town and the people in the town are just like stroking them and there's all this smoke and William's score is so like weird.
Very eerie and that scene used to freak me out actually when I was a kid.
Yeah, they're just like stroking them
really
and the smoke for some reason.
And like even though there's nothing about him that's frightening, the older guy, like the main leader, he kind of scared me when I was little.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just like his kind of skeletal look but
that's fair.
Yeah, he kind of freaked me out a bit. Like no problem with him now, but like, I remember when I was little, that bit always scared me.
We pray to Shiva to help us find the stone. It was Shiva who made you fall from the sky.
When I was a kid and Willie eats like the slop with her hand, I was always like, ooh.
Yeah.
What are they eating?
While we're talking about like how that guy scared me, this is easily the darkest of all the Indiana Jones films, by far.
For sure. It was Lucas's idea to like center around like the occult and all this craziness. He was going through a divorce at the time. And they talk about like, you know, when you make a film, like you make all these little decisions and you don't see the big picture till the end unless you're like some fucking crazy guy that can like envisage your art piece. But like it's a series of decisions and like you choose like a couple dark things and a couple light things and like I don't think Spielberg or Lucas were... Well, I don't think Spielberg was particularly happy with how dark it was. I think Lucas was fine.
No, Spielberg has gone on record to say that he is not happy with how Temple of Doom turned out.
It's pretty fucking dark.
Yeah. he said that he doesn't regret Temple of Doom because that's where he met Kate Capshaw.
Yeah.
But that he has many other regrets about the film.
Yeah. I fucking love it. As a kid, it always seemed weird and odd and like just so different. I didn't quite get it. But yeah, as an adult, just like the risk they took and just like the roll of the dice, just to like hard cut from like World War II to like India in a cold and like make it so dark and so brutal and so fucked up. It's just, I don't know, I appreciate them trying to do something different and odd and like it's going on the edge.
You can feel the whiplash because of like, ooh, okay, for the third one, let's bring the Nazis back.
Yeah. We'll just make it like raiders.
It's also the most self-contained film out of all of them, because like, while you've got like, you know, China, yes, at the beginning, it's only literally just for the opening, and then once they get to India, it's India for the rest of the film. There's no globe-trotting like the other films.
Yeah, that's true.
That's another thing I find funny because, like I mentioned before, there's once it hits India, that's pretty much the setup. It just slides into the end of the film. There's no like jumping around. That's like 45 minutes in or so. Like once they, you know, pretty much go through the wall, go through and they're in.
Yeah.
That's it. They see the ritual. You know, they get to the end. They do the mine cart chase.
Yeah.
End of film. Oh, bridge scene. Great bridge scene. And then
bridge scene is amazing. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I kind of love how dark and weird it is as an adult. It's also kind of the most humorous in a way. The first hour has a lot of humor, and then like exactly at the hour mark, it takes a hard turn into darkness and doesn't look back.
You've got that really fun scene where they're trapped, where Shorty and India trapped in the collapsing room with the spikes.
Good. The mechanics of like that set is beautiful.
And even though it's tense for the first, I mean, you know he's going to make it out of it, but it is tense the first time you watch it. And even watching it now, you still kind of get anxiety, like when it's like when the spikes like coming into his hat and everything.
It's just everything. It's like them pulling Willie through hell and like the like ticking clock element and William's score is like it's fucking.
But it's such a fun scene, and you go from that and just like bam, the darkest scene in the entire series. Guys hard to get into like demonic chanting and
even like 20 minutes before that, we need to talk about that food scene where they eat all the grossness.
The monkey's brains?
Monkey brains.
Snake surprise. And he cuts the snake.
Surprise.
Snake's matter.
And then one guy's like flicking one over.
Yeah. They're eating like bugs and shit.
And then cuts that one guy like a handful of snakes up.
Yeah. What do you guys think of this scene? It like Lucas describes it as like 30s Albert and Costello type of humor.
I like it. I think it's a lot of fun. You're literally just waiting for the next disgusting gag.
I always hated it as a kid, and I don't get it now. I don't know whether it's supposed to be funny or gross or both.
I think it's a mixture of both.
Yeah, but I do not think it's funny at all.
Like even the soup gag, when she's like, can I get something just normal?
Yeah.
And she gets like, oh, that's good. She like these eyeballs pop out.
That's fine. I just really have a problem with the snake surprise and him doing the thing with like the snakes and stuff. I fucking hate it.
I gotta be honest, if I was at a dinner table and the snake surprise came out, I'd be gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, check please.
See you later. But yeah, for me, I don't like it and I don't get it. It's like, it's up there with like Shia LaBeouf swinging on vines with monkeys.
Nah.
I
disagree.
It's definitely meant to be played for laughs.
Yeah.
That's definitely not a serious scene. And if anything, it's meant to like have us sympathise with Willie in a way. I think maybe.
Just going through hell.
I find it works in the good way where you get a bit of exposition between Indiana Jones and like the general
like
guy.
Hard exposition to cut with humour.
Yeah, and still just getting all this dry exposition because there's no humour at all coming from Indy's point of the table.
Yeah.
So you get that, and then it cuts to these fun little gags with Shorty and Willie getting all these disgusting reveals from the food.
Yeah, I don't find it funny, and I never will. And I will always hate it.
Wow, sneak surprise.
What's the surprise?
Closing down thing, it's like one of the best scenes in the saga for me. Spielberg like just shot it without any storyboards as he does and just like made the shit up as he goes. The gag with Willie bending over and it all restarting up was just like on the fly, like, hey, what if we do this? And enter the indie theme with the door closing and him grabbing his hat is just...
That's all made up on the fly. That was not scripted.
There are so many scenes that Spielberg... There's like later on, the big guy, when he fights the big guy on like the rock conveyor belt, that was not storyboarded. Spielberg just was like, let's go to the set, let's see what's there.
I think that's a dark part, how like he goes in and then all just watching and then the blood comes over and they're like, oh!
That's a horrific moment. It's played as like horror.
Yeah.
Like Williams just like hits some minor note on the strings like... And you see Indy and Willie like both react.
Yeah, because they're
recoil in horror.
Like, what were they expecting? I was like, oh, that guy's just got sucked into that. Let's see what happens. Oh, there is blood.
I mean, you would kind of watch, I think, maybe.
I mean, morbid curiosity. I'd watch.
Yeah,
I'd have to.
no.
I'd regret watching because later in bed I'd be lying there and be like, oh, what did I? Oh, yeah, I'll be seeing that a few nights.
Yeah, I'll stay with you. But yeah, like that whole fight sequence, Spielberg just like made it on the fly. The like flying wing one in the first one with the big guy. They just like
Same actor.
Same guy.
Yeah, the same guy. He's in the bar in Raiders as well. Marion shoots him. He's got the blood. He was actually supposed to be in The Last Crusade, but I think the scene was cut.
Yeah, we were talking about that last time.
There's a shot of him when they're in the blimp and they're looking out and the Nazi guy's coming. He's the guy next to him.
They just want to kill him in every film.
Yeah, but yeah, I think he had some fight with Indy on the blimp that got cut, maybe?
Okay.
Maybe?
No, fair enough.
Maybe. But yeah, where are we at? The ritual sequence. It's fucking amazing. It's so dark. It's so horrific. We get introduced to Mola Ram here.
Yeah.
Williams' score is brilliant. It starts off just like the tempo is so slow. It's like
It's just the drums,
dun, dun. And as it escalates, like he just picks up the tempo of the drums and the strings just get higher in frequency.
Yeah.
It's just like tension. Just how you create tension, and the whole song just builds like 5 minutes. Molaran rips this guy's heart out. It's fucking brutal and fucking amazing. This was a kids' film, and there was backlash back in the 80s. Like mums took their kids to see. I'm like, what is this? Oh my god!
My kids are Satanists now. Thank you.
I remember as a kid, like replaying that Molaran thing on like with kids on the Oval and stuff, and we were like, Kalima Shukti Kalima, like trying to reach in the heart and stuff. I realized this the other night when I was doing my notes, but I never really had any friends that were into indie. It was just like me, and I loved indie, and that was it. Like no one that I've ever really ran into in my life was really that into indie.
I must say, yeah. Now that I think about it, I'm the same. Like. My mum is a big Indiana Jones fan. She's the one who showed me the movie the first time, which I think we talked about last time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, until I met John, we became really good friends. I can't think of anyone who I knew who was like Indiana Jones. Like I had one friend who really likes it, but I can't think of anyone who was like so like insanely.
Yeah, most of my friends are like they're good movies.
Yeah, it's an odd thing. My dad got me into Indiana Jones when I was young. I watched Raiders and I watched the rest. But yeah, like at school, it never came up. Like I just never. Like I knew you at school. Like we never
spoke about it.
No, I don't think Indiana Jones was ever mentioned.
I guess I was like high school, so I was like out of like massive indie phase.
Yeah, but I mean, Crystal Skull was coming up, so why didn't we? We must have known it was coming.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure we spoke about indie, but probably. I was like out of my like crazy fanatic indie phase.
Yeah,
but yeah, like anybody else like just doesn't fucking get it, eh?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, they're good films. So I'm like, no, you don't understand.
Even now with like Dial of Destiny coming out, like at work we'll be talking about what films we're looking forward to, and of course people are mentioning like Spider-Man and The Flash, and I'm like Indiana Jones, like that's the one. I mean Flash, I can't wait for.
Yeah.
But Indiana Jones is the one.
Indiana Jones is my most anticipated film.
Yeah, me too. And everyone's like, oh yeah, what did like that old superhero guy? I'm like superhero. Look, what?
I think
it's
old.
Indiana Jones, and they're like,
We got the old right. Superhero.
These people that we work with are fucking kids. I haven't seen Indiana Jones. I remember when I was young, like the Indiana Jones movies were like seen as like old by people.
They were.
I remember talking about them and people being like, they're old. I'm like, yeah. So they weren't even that old back then.
They weren't. Because I watched it before I was
like 10
so
years
old. Last Crusade would have been not even a decade old at that point.
Which feels weird because they did feel like old movies, but I remember people being like, aren't they old? I'm like, yeah.
I think I was like
amazing.
I think I was like 6 or 7 when I first saw it, so it would have been like 94, 95. So Last Crusade was barely 6 years old when I first saw it.
Weird, eh? In my mind, they were always
like
really
I was born
movies.
a year before Last Crusade came out.
It's funny because I think of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull as feeling quite new still.
Yeah, but
that was like 15 years ago.
I know.
Is your back hurt, John? How's your hearing?
Huh?
You got a bit of grey in the beard, mate.
It still feels very recent.
What? You'll have to speak up, Sonny.
Crystal Skull came out when the MCU started, both 2008.
That's crazy.
Oh, I'm leaving?
Yeah, that guy gets lowered into the fire and it's crazy. Om Nom Shivaya, Om Nom Shivaya, Om Nom Shivaya, Om Nom Shivaya. I can't get like. There are so many moments from these movies just in my fucking
waiting for
brain.
you to.
You gotta give me a moment.
I remember like on the Oval doing the.
We discussed this and you said no.
And I was waiting for the other kid to do the Om Nom Shivaya, Om Nom Shivaya. Nobody knew what the fuck I was talking about.
I'm gonna be honest. If somebody came up to me and said, Kali Ma,
Get away from me,
I'd be
sir.
like, miss.
Do not touch me. I personally would lean into the Om Nom Shivaya. That's my moment. We've waited 32 years for this.
Hey, where's Alex got? Oh, he got shipped off to a mental hospital. He started talking in tongues.
I love Indy because he's not like a pure hero. He
punches women.
He punches women. He threatens to stab Willie. He bites. He spits. He kicks people in the nuts. But he hears the kids here and he's like, all right, I'll save the kids.
He's a good guy.
He is a good guy in the end. He's just. Lucas wrote him, and this is brilliant, and I fucking love it. And I've talked a lot of smack about Lucas on this channel because I've just like reviewed the prequels and stuff, and I haven't gone back and done the original Star Wars movies. But he wrote Indy, so he was always like 10% out of his ability. Like you watch the truck scene and like he's getting shot and he's getting fucked up and like he's barely scraping through by the skin of his teeth.
But he makes it through, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the reason why he's biting and he's spitting. Like he's fucked. He can't fight that guy. That guy's better than him. And well, I guess I don't know why he punches a lady or takes Willie in that fight.
He's asserting dominance.
That's just old Indy. Thing.
That wasn't even good. That was just Harrison Ford.
That's what I was like, oh fuck. We'll keep it. We get the poison sequence, and it really just like takes a hard turn here. Harrison Ford does this great like acting as he's like recoiling on this thing in the poison.
That would always really disturb me.
When he kicks the candles,
Yeah.
and like the close-up of the candles getting kicked
And
and
the
stuff.
way they play with the sound when he's like screaming and like reacting to it, and they have it kind of like a distorted, delayed sound as he's like writhing and twisting, and it's even now it's kind of like it's a bit freaky to watch.
He's getting like whipped with short round. They're like getting tandem whipped. It's fucking dark and weird. They go out. Harrison Ford's all. Did I talk about him hurting his back?
No.
He hurt his back in you know the scene where him and Willie have their like romantic comedy thing and he's waiting for her and that guy comes into his room and they fight. The scene where he throws him over his back and he like completely destroyed his back and they had to like
I never knew that.
stop filming for 9 weeks and stuff.
9 weeks?
Yeah, they got like he got like some weird like experimental surgery and stuff. And that whole scene, I'm ruining the movie for you again. I'm sorry, guys.
That's fine. Harrison Ford must just get hurt a lot because I remember on like was it The Force Awakens?
Yeah.
The door came down.
Did he get hurt on the new Indy and they stopped it?
Yeah,
probably.
I think so.
Is he just a liability?
I think he does like action scenes and like throws himself into it and hurts himself. He's Harrison Ford, but he's like rolling around fighting people, and like he got dragged behind a truck for like a shot, and the truck was moving very slowly.
I said, you know, you aren't actually Indiana Jones.
He is, Charlie. Don't ruin this for me. But yeah, he fucked his back, and then Spielberg did the whole like the fight scene with the big guy and the rocks getting crushed with a stunt double, and he just like cut close-ups of Harrison Ford into it later because like, well, we got all this time, what are we gonna do? And yeah, it's really fun to just sit there and be like, Harrison, not Harrison, Harrison, not Harrison. It's like TOS whenever he fights scene with Captain Kirk. It's just like clearly not William Shatner. It's just fine on your little TV in the 60s and then you're watching it widescreen in 2023 and you're like...
It's like I should have bought the Blu-ray.
Yeah, they just like showed the guy's face and it's not William Shatner. And I'm like, it's fine. Spielberg cuts around it. He doesn't just show the stunt double's face.
I mean, to be fair, when they were making Star Trek, they probably thought it's going to be watched once and never again.
Yeah, it's like Doctor Who, the BBC just deleted them.
Oh, we're playing EastEnders, we'll tape over that, whatever that is.
Yeah. And like Oppenheimer, you know that clip of him like quoting the Bhagavad Gita when he's like, I've become death to destroy worlds. That was like a 3-part interview on the BBC that went for like an hour each. And they were just like, bin. It's like taped over it. Like, they had no conceptualization that anything would ever be rewatched. It played on your little tiny TV and that was it.
I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that one way or another.
See, I think Doctor Who is the biggest.
More so than
Fuck up.
Robert Oppenheimer. Who goes with that?
I don't care. The Doctor Who, it's like, I want more second Doctor stories.
Yeah, the first ones, that's fine. They can stay hidden. But Patrick Troughton, my boy. There's so many missing as well.
I mean, don't get me started on Doctor Who. I'll go on.
Did you see my scarf? I didn't show you my scarf. I'll show you my scarf now.
Hey, please.
It is like 22 feet long.
Oh, it is actually long.
Yes, it is actually
Nice.
long.
All three of us could wear that at the same time.
We could right now.
Literally good.
If we wanted.
I mean, it's not going to, people, you know, I don't know how exciting this is for, you're going to cut this.
No, this is the opener. This is the hook. This will get you into the review.
This is the hook. The scarf from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
We get all this brutal darkness, and there's this brilliant little shot after Indy has like drunken poison, and he hits Short Round, and Short Round's like, "I love you, Indy," and like burns him, and he's like crying and everything. I'm like so emotionally invested. I'm just in. I'm in. And yeah, Indy like puts his hat on Short Round, and he like kneels down, and Short Round puts his hat on. It's just like, it melts my fucking heart. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's so cute after him just hitting the kid as well. He hits the kid.
Hit the kid burns him back. And, great scene.
That's the little hat moment. Both their hats.
That's that Spielberg heart that we want in the movie.
With the George Lucas horror on top of it, the divorce.
Yeah, George Lucas had his heart ripped out, so he got a literal heart ripped out of the film.
It all, kind of culminates in this little minecart scene, and once again, just like the practical miniatures of the minecart are so fucking awesome, and I love them so much.
Minecart scene is amazing.
Yeah, it was originally supposed to be in Raiders, but they just like couldn't fit it in. Like they didn't shoot it or anything, but it was in the script. I'm like, this is not.
Where would they fit that in Raiders?
I have no idea.
Clearly nowhere, because they cut it. They were like,
I don't know. I remember my dad always saying to me when I was younger, like, "Oh, the ending Temple of Doom feels like it was just made to advertise a Disneyland ride because of the minecart." And then I used to think that the Indiana Jones ride was made because of this movie. And then I grew up to learn that wasn't the case, and Dad just didn't like Temple of Doom.
He was making stuff up. There's a shot, and they go like over a gap, and they jump it, and there's a bunch of shots of the minecart, and Indy's like, "Duck!" And it's fucking great because most of the time it's like live action shot, miniature, live action shot, and they know how to cut it in properly. But that one jump, it's like several shots of the miniature, and the car looks great, but the little people in it, they don't look so great when you look at it. So it just like, he's like, "Duck!" So you don't see us in the miniature shot of it jumping when it's on camera for a long time.
Yeah, because there's no reason to duck. Like, getting down is in no way. Like, if they had stayed sitting, that cart would just went, whoop, boom.
Sort of dropped off the track. So yeah, that's just a brilliant little beautiful moment where he's like, us in the model will look terrible. We need the duck, guys. You got all this tension of the chase, and then the ticking clock element of the massive dam breaching, coming down. There's so much like movement in this last part of the film, and in most of these films.
it's literally just from the moment that Indy wipes out the big guy who gets squished in the roller.
Yeah.
From that moment on,
Just moving.
it's just non-stop, just a complete speed run to the end of the film.
Yeah, and Spielberg's great at those like fast moving moments and like
And-
long shots and like tracking shots as well.
Yeah. And then it gets to the bridge, and it's like stop, and it's just like tension.
Yeah, and the bridge is such a great action set piece for like a 30s action adventure serial remade in the 80s. It was all like practical and real, and it just looks like a bridge. Like, if it was done these days, it wouldn't look like a bridge, and it'd make me angry. But it's a real bridge getting captured on a real lens with real light, with real people in it, and it just never for a second looks fake, because it's not. They actually built the bridge. Yeah, you're right. Everything like slows down and gets super tense. It's like, well, he's like, he's not gonna, is he? And Shawran's like, she's like, he's crazy. He's like, he's not crazy, he's nuts. Only Indy would, like wrap his leg around the piece.
She's like, oh my god.
Spielberg was so afraid of the heights that he'd only go like 10 feet down to each end and just like have other people shoot the middle stuff. And then the scene where the bridge like collapses and breaks.
Great.
They had like automated dummies with like mechanized motors in them, so when they fell they like did this. And they had one take, they're like one moment, they set up the bridge. They couldn't reset it, it was like their one moment. They filmed with like 8 different cameras. You see it on the behind the scenes, and like Lucas is on the camera and Spielberg's on the camera and the producers are on the camera. I think Frank Marshall's on the camera. And I was just like, alright, let's go. And they did it, and they had one shot. Same with the flying wing in Raiders blowing up as well. Like, they didn't have another one. They were like, I hope this works, because it's all we fucking have. I was gonna look up the budget, but I didn't look up the budget. But I know that Raiders was shot like on 20 million, which is a tiny budget, and like quite quick, like a B movie, like not very many takes and just making it up on the fly. I feel like there would have been more time and effort put into Raiders, into Temple, but it still has like that quick, like dirty down feel. There's that scene where the room is closing in and Harrison Ford's like, we are going to die!
We are going to die! And then there's a weird...
We are going to die!
The same on the bridge is like, I'll see you in hell, Molaramo.
In hell.
It's probably Spielberg got like 3 takes. And that's it.
If anything, Temple of Doom kind of feels like a more, I don't know if amateur is the right word, but it kind of feels like Raiders feels way more polished than Temple.
Temple feels very gritty.
Yeah, it's dark as fuck. But in general, like Close Encounters of the Third Kind and all those movies took like months and months and hundreds of millions of dollars to film, and then Raiders was just like bam, 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 bam. I was telling Robbie in like the first one, there's a scene with the lighting guy, there's like a fire in the background and the smoke was like obscuring their faces, and he's like, we weren't gonna see their faces, and Spielberg's like, we can't reshoot it, like we need to move on, like it's fine, we didn't get it, whatever. And it's crazy because it's like such a fucking amazing like piece of work, and it was just like on the fly,
It's
quick
insane.
and somewhat cheap. $20 million for Raiders. I don't know what this was, but yeah.
I mean, if that was made today, 20 mil, they wouldn't be able to do one scene.
No.
Film.
Harrison Ford, we got 20 million a day.
Yeah.
What do we think of Molan as a character? He's fucking just pure
He's
evil.
creepy.
He's
Just-
a one-note villain, but it works.
Yeah, he doesn't have any depth. He has no like emotional backstory. He's no nuance.
Yeah.
I don't think we
I mean-
know anything about him really.
No.
Like he's just
It just
hey, there's
shows
the
up.
leader.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
He's evil, and he's evil.
Yeah.
He's in this foil.
He rips hearts out, and that's all he's there to do.
I mean, he's easily like, for me, like the weakest out of the original 3 villains. But, I mean, he's still iconic.
Absolutely.
Sure, he hasn't got like the character development or like the nuances that...
You don't need it though. I don't. If we cut back to like Molan coming home and taking off his things and sitting down with his wife. And, well, when I was a child, my mother was mean to me. That's why I'm evil. It's like he's evil.
She says like, oh, there's no batteries in the clicker.
His death is fucking brilliant too. Like him and Indy going back and forth on the bridge. He's trying to fucking rip Indy's heart out, and they're fighting, and then he just falls, and it's like a great like. I guess it's like they matted it into like the shot of it going down. And it looks so bad. he's like flicking off the cliff, and he just hits the water and like immediately
shoots
by
out.
fucking.
He shoots out because he's like going straight to the rocks. It's like, oh, he's not going to get eaten by the crocodiles. And then bang, he hits the wall, and out he flies like at a 90-degree angle out to the water, and just cuts to him being ripped by
The
the
crocodile's its mouth open, and he just immediately like falls into the mouth of like a crocodile. There's ripping to shreds immediately.
It's like
fucking great.
It's like all the ones who fall. Like then they fall, you hear them and then literally within not even a millisecond, they've been torn apart by
4 crocodiles pulling a guy apart. Like,
It's fucking amazing. So silly, so ridiculous, so over the top, and yeah, pulling from those old 1930s action
Very
series
much
that
so.
Lucas and Spielberg grew up that I'm not familiar with, but fucking, I mean, they pay homage to it here, and it's fucking amazing. All these Indian soldiers rock up at the end here, and I don't know if this was set up or who they are or where they came from. In the gross out dinner scene, there's that like colonial English general guy.
Yeah, the
talking
guy's
stuff.
talking with
Are they
him,
with
yeah.
him? Is that what happened?
I'm not too sure.
Because they're just,
I've never
they're
actually...
in a fight, and then all these like Indian like good
how
military
did they know
guys.
that they were there?
I have no idea.
Yeah, once you get to something.
Willie says finally. I'm like, what do you mean finally? No one mentioned anything about Deus Ex Machina saving. I don't know.
Unless there was a cut line where the main guy, the general's like, oh, the one place we didn't look. He's like, they've been out there, just we didn't know about it.
It's funny, the hundreds of times I've watched the film, I've never once questioned that.
That's fair.
It's never once come to
Until
like,
now.
no, that's what I'm going to think.
Ruining all
God.
the fun.
Well, it's about time.
I just need a fucking throwaway line with that English colonialist guy's like, well, as you know, I have a platoon of 17 men at the ready, and at the drop of a hat, they could be here to save a situation.
And the hat was dropped, so there it is.
We get that great gag from Raiders as well, where he goes for the gun, but he doesn't have it this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's just like a super soppy, cliche, happy ending. The kids are free, they come back into the town. We get a great little moment with Indian Willie, and it's just like cliche, heartwarming, happy movie ending.
The elephant sprays him.
The black border comes around, like the screen kind of shrinks.
Yeah.
And then it ends. Yeah, it's wrapped up pretty neatly. You're right. This does really feel like its own separate movie. Like you could, if this was the only Indiana Jones movie, it would feel like a one and done. That's it. Yeah.
You don't need to see Raiders.
No, not that. Oh, I guess Marion comes back in Crystal Skull. Like there are links to
True.
Yeah.
This I always feel like this should have been first.
Yeah.
Do you think if this was first, we would have got Raiders? Though? Do you think it would have been successful enough that we would have got?
No.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either.
Something about the monkey brains and the ripping of the heart and the darkness in the kids' film.
Yeah, I think Willie and the occult would have rubbed a few people the wrong way.
In the end.
Actually, considering the reaction that this movie got on release, I'm surprised that they even got to Last Crusade.
Yeah, well, I think it still made a lot of money because people just went into it like, oh, Raiders of the Lost Ark. And I'm like, oh my gosh, cover your eyes, Billy. Kids getting whipped. There's like this whole like slave thing where all the kids are like enslaved in a mine, getting like abused and stuff.
I just got my kids out of the slavery and now they're back.
Don't show them the mine again.
Is this the movie that brought in the PG-13?
It is.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, it was the first ever PG-13 movie, which doesn't mean a lot to me because I'm Australian, so fucking I don't know what that fucking means. What's that, like MA 15 plus for us or something?
Yeah, I think that's kind of like our...
They had PG and MA and then PG...
No, I don't think they had MA. I think they went PG and then...
R.
Straight to R.
What's NC-17?
That's like...
But their R isn't even our R, their R is like our MA.
Yes.
And then our M 15 plus is their PG-13.
Yeah, I don't really get it.
It was a big deal, but I'm Australian, so I don't know. Spielberg was like, there should be a rating in between these two ratings.
When I was a kid, I wasn't really looking. I didn't really pick up a video and go, hang on, what's the rating? M15. Put that one back.
I actually did and always do. I'm like, strong gore.
No, I never really did.
I remember the first time I ever noticed the classifications was with The Lost World, because that was originally going to be M. And I was just slightly too young to see an M movie. And Mum, because obviously I love Jurassic Park. You know, it was PG. It's been changed to M now.
Yeah.
But it was PG at the time.
Yeah.
And then when Lost World was going to be M, Mum and Dad were like, no, you're not going to be seeing that. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And then it got changed to PG before release. I was like, I'm in.
The weird one for me was Wild Wild West with Will Smith because in the cover it's like PG, but then also M, so it's like in South Australia it's M15.
Oh yeah, I've seen
So
it before.
there's two.
Yeah,
my DVD copy literally has PG and M in South Australia only. So if you're in South Australia, you can't. If you're under 15, hey, that's not recommended.
That's weird.
More
Same
raunchy in
country.
South Australia.
I'm sure you could find a picture of that and shove it in.
Yeah, I've seen it before on movies. And it was South Australia too. I don't know if I'm thinking about the Wild Wild West,
I've never
but I've seen it
noticed that.
before and it was South Australia.
Whoever was the Premier of South
They're
Australia must have been really sheltered as a kid.
Yeah, so in conclusion, I mean, this is no Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it doesn't need to be. Like, to compare the White Album to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and be like, it's not as good as Sgt. Pepper's Lonely. Like, that's fine. Like, you're shooting for, like, the top echelon of art. Raiders is the best film ever. I like how dark it is, and I respect the fact that they took a risk and they did something different, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. I don't find the silliness enjoyable. I love the darkness. I love the brutality. I wouldn't have it any other way. Temple of Doom is amazing.
I agree. As an adult, I have a new appreciation for this one. I think it's great. It used to be a very clear least favorite.
Yeah.
Now it's up there with the others.
Yeah.
Like, it's not as good as the others, but yeah, I love it. I love it too.
Yeah, look, all three Indiana Jones will always have such immense nostalgic value, regardless of how good or bad certain scenes are.
Yeah.
But Temple of Doom, even with its flaws, and it does feel kind of tonally jarring from number 1 and 3.
Yeah.
It does still feel quintessential Indiana Jones at the same time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Alright, thank you all for watching. We'll see you again for Last Crusade. Like, subscribe, comments, hit the bell, send me money.
What he said.